video has been powered by Instant Gaming. Hi, hello, and welcome back to another Drag Race outfit ranking video. My name is Jer, and today we are talking about Drag Race Thailand Season 3. These are my 10 favorite looks of the season. And just as a quick reminder, the way that I judge these is based off of my own personal fashion tastes. So if my personal aesthetics do not line up with yours, that is totally okay. It doesn't mean that I thought another thing was garbage that maybe you really liked. Just means that it didn't make my top 10. This is also my very last fashion video of 2024, so that's pretty exciting. I'm gonna be starting the next year with Drag Race España, so keep an eye out on that. So without further ado, let's jump into the Drag Race Thailand Season 3 outfits that I loved the most. Starting in the number 10 slot, which belongs to Benze Diva in the Clown is Sexy and I Know It category. I think this runway was probably one of the better ones of the season, and a lot of my favorite looks actually did come from this one. I think it was the most accessible to this cast, unlike some other categories like Worldwide Wet that were a little bit left of center, I think, and kind of harder for some of these queens to really connect with. I love Benze's makeup more than anything. I think it supports the story so much. The nude boobies with the balloons over them are a little bit jarring and odd, especially because it's fabric balloons, not balloons. The ones that are over her arms and shoulders are obviously made of them, but the ones that are on her boobies and on the hips, those are fabric stuffed with something to give the dress support, which I understand and makes sense. That's not my most favorite part of this outfit. I just liked the performance. I liked that it was this sad clown who can't really do anything and got caught up and tied up in all the balloons they made. It was just a cool look to me, and that is a big thing that I gravitate towards, is coolness. I think this was one of my favorite looks from Benze all season. It showed a different side of her that we hadn't seen up until this point. It's just too bad that this was the moment that she went home. In the number 9 slot goes to Godland. Doing the iconic runway, Godland chose to do a tribute to Marsha P. Johnson, which is such a beautiful concept and idea, and I think it was executed quite well. I think the fabric choice was nice. It emulates and evokes a lot of those famous pictures we've seen of Marsha, and I caught the reference right away. I think the sash with Stonewall on it was a nice detail to really push in the iconicism of what this look is and who this person was. And I think the runway category was really more about the person rather than the look. And so with that being the category, it's kind of easy to pick someone that is just famous, like Madonna or Kylie Minogue. But in queer history and in queer iconicism, Marsha P. Johnson is up there. And I think this tribute was really beautiful, and I think the colors look great on her. I even like the sort of softer makeup than we normally saw from Godland. This was a really strong look in my opinion. Next in the number 8 slot goes to ZP in the Clown is Sexy and I Know It category. Another one from this runway, which I really loved. I think the entire package is flawless from top to bottom. I love this jester hat. The neck ruffle is fascinating. The shoulder ruffle detail is cool. I like that it's all in this sleek and sharp latex PVC. The boots were an incredible addition to this look, and the makeup is badass. We had not seen ZP do anything like this all season, so it was cool to see her branch out and try something a little bit different for this runway. In the number 7 slot goes to Nane Sphera doing the iconic runway as well. Nane chose to do a Madonna look, and this was a Vogue cover. I think the colors look beautiful on her. I'm fascinated by this metallic sage green, and I think the choice of styling and design was really smart for her. Nane was the runway girl of the season, and it still breaks my heart that she did not break top 3 and that she got eliminated when she did to who she did, because I think honestly she deserved the top with the way that her brain works with fashion. She clearly has a strong idea of what her body looks like and how she wants things to look. And I know her partner makes everything for her, and he clearly does a very good job at creating these looks for her. I'm still gagged that Nane went home when she did. Still, and I'll never get over that. In the number 6 slot is Siam's entrance look, and I want to say something shady. The way that Siam's fashion taste was so inconsistent really should be studied, because you look at this, and this is a beautiful and striking silhouette. But then some of Siam's looks like the constructed look in the ball and that look that she got eliminated on were so bad. And yet she's got looks that look like this, which looked like they came straight out of the Met Gala. It's incredible to me, and that should be studied. In any case, this was hands down one of my favorites of the walk-ins, and I think it set up an idea of who Siam was going to be that unfortunately I don't think she really lived up to. I thought she was gonna be this sort of fierce fashion diva with maybe no personality. She ended up becoming this very silly, goofy, quirky, conceptual artist. I think Siam deserves a chance to come back for a global or a versus the world, because I think maybe with a budget or some type of financial compensation package, I think she would be able to really turn out something even better than what she did this time around. In the number 5 slot is Shotgun's entrance look. I think what is fascinating about this is the mask that matches the makeup. I haven't really seen this before. And in a series like Drag Race where things are recycled left and right, we are constantly seeing the same ideas being churned out in different silhouettes or different textiles. I've not seen anything to this level. The 2 different gingham patterns with this matte ruffle fabric, and none of these are particularly very expensive, but they look high fashion, they look artistic. And the fact that it is asymmetrical gives me a giant fashion wood. I love the hair with this because it does match those ruffles. I'm not a fan of the shoes. That probably is the one thing that I would probably knock out of here and swap it for a pleaser. But this is a great, great look. I'm obsessed with the concept of this and the execution. I think it's very well done. The makeup, the mask, the outfit, the wig, it's all in the same color story, and I am obsessed. In the number 4 slot, we've got another Clown is Sexy and I Know It runway, and that belongs to Frankie Wonga. What she looks like here is those really old school 1920s, 1930s carnival posters where they would advertise whoever the performer was, or, you know, you'd see them in comics and such. I don't know if those were actual historic events, but they would advertise like who was gonna be there, like the strongman, the girl who gets sawn in half, things like that. And you'd see them on a big giant poster as you're going in to the carnival or on the outside of it, so you know who's performing. That's what Frankie looks like. I'm obsessed with this monochromatic look with the touches of black. I think doing this color story was brilliant because it captures the mood of the runway. And then also having it be a little scandalous with the star pasties and with the covering up of the body so that it's a little boop boopy doop. This is brilliant. And I love that way that Frankie's brain works. I'm so glad that she won this season. Just really happy for her growth and trajectory on the show. I think it translated flawlessly. In the number 3 slot, we've got Nane Sphera in Hat the Way I Like It. Oh, this outfit still gives me chills. It still takes my breath away. When it first came out, I thought, whoa, that's beautiful. This is an eye catcher. This is a gasp moment. The way that the peacock feathers are attached to the hat, which comes off and turns into a purse. Then there's an even more beautiful hat underneath it. Then you start to scroll down on the look and you see all these appliques that have been added to this sleek gown, perfectly cut in place peacock feathers that line the bottom, plus the green stonework. This is a fashion moment if I've ever seen one. Nane is another one I think deserves to be on a global or a versus the world, but I don't know her English capabilities to do something like that. I think if this girlie was in front of Michelle or RuPaul, I think they would lose their minds. Nane's got this element of her drag that makes you just gasp, that makes you go, whoa. In the number 2 slot is Frankie Wonga's Thai-touristic look. This was meant to be a futuristic Thai look in case you didn't watch the season. I think this blending of culture and futurism is so smart. Retrofuturism has been very popular for the last decade or so. Typically we see everything sort of landlocked in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and that's where retrofuture usually goes. You don't usually see a lot of historical gods and goddesses represented in futurism, mixed with all these details that bring it to the future, like all the stoning and the color choices. And before we get to the final look, let's talk about this video's sponsor. With the holidays over, you may be looking for some new video games to try. Instant Gaming Gaming is a discount key retailer, helping you find excellent deals and discounts on games across every platform. You'll find a number of keys here for bargains that you would not even expect. Check my link below to make your way to their website and peek through all of these incredible deals. But you gotta be quick because there's a limited stock on everything. So if there's a game you've been having your eye on for a while, now's the time to pick it up. Thank you to Instant Gaming for making this video even more possible. And now, back to our scheduled program. All right, without further ado, the #1 slot, my favorite look of Drag Race Thailand Season 3 belongs to, you guessed it, Frankie Wanga in the hair runway. From my understanding, this is meant to also be an onomatopoeia for like a roar, a growl, something in that nature. I love everything about this look because it's meant to be hair, but it's also meant to be scary, spoopy, right? Frankie having a perfectly replicated model of her head that she carried around on the runway with the stitches on it, and the performance of pulling out the stitches, being covered in this hair like this demon that came out of the shower drain. I love this wet looking hair that's cascading down her face, the way that it is wrapped around her body. There's even some different colors that are mixed in there, so it looks like it came deep out of the drain and wasn't just one family's hair. It may have been whoever lived there before. There's blood on this. There are so many elements and details that punch this look. For us as the viewers to understand, this is meant to be a horror hair look. And a big parameter that I look at is if you were to pull this out of Drag Race and not tell someone what the category was, would they know? Would they be able to look at this and say, is it supposed to be XYZ? And I think you could easily look at this and go, that's meant to be a scary horror look. That's meant to be a hair look. I think you'd get that. I think you'd understand that. Cannot speak highly enough about Frankie Wanga, and I'm so glad that we got to see the way that her brain works through this season in a way that we haven't really seen from other contestants and other franchises, except maybe like Charity Case, bringing a level of horror and glamour to the runway. And certainly we've not seen this in Drag Race Thailand. So I'm obsessed with this look. And with that, that has been my favorite looks of Drag Race Thailand Season 3. Let me know what some of your favorite looks were this season, and keep an eye out on my Drag Race alt channel because I will be posting a couple videos regarding Drag Race Thailand very soon. See y'all on the flip.